Yeah, the Fatih and Monkey, just a nice little one.
Right? Like, they don't probably necessarily see, oh, it's quite a game, and he would pick the Monkey, and he cleaned up shop.
Yeah, it was just actually very good on the Monkey. He was kind of flexing. Muchi, again, we've seen this already in 2 games where they've been able to kind of get that farm. They've been able to do that damage, and Twisted Minds know that going into Game 3, they need to stop them.
They need to stop that, and they also need to stop the devastation of Nova eSports. At match point, can Twisted Minds turn this all around? And those at the Amazon Arena, let's hear a gyro for both of these teams as we get into game number 3.
Twisted Minds here need to be aggressive early, try to set the tone. They haven't really been lucky in terms of getting these like first bloods and kind of being aggressive when they need to. They tried in game 1 and unfortunately they fell flat on their faces, but this is one where, again, everything on the line, you gotta go for it.
You gotta go for it. But I mean, I don't want to say it here, but Nova eSports, we've seen from obviously the KPL teams, when they get to that last match of the series, they go hard, right? So I'm really hoping here, for the sake of Twisted Minds, that is not going to be the case.
But you're the KMW, caster. You should be the believer in them. You should be like pumping them up. You should be all about this Twisted Minds lineup.
They forgot the MVP. Victory is not on the board. He's not on the stage. I mean, you can't have a team and give the hype over to Twisted Minds if they're not fully suited within their unit.
Yeah, but I do think that this draft is going to be better for Twisted Minds. This is definitely something that they're comfortable with. Clean on this Augur. And this is the moment. Yes, he's been targeted in terms of the fans and the drafts and all that, but this is the time where you need to really pick up the team.
Yeah, I mean, you can already see here, obviously Clean was able to actually maintain an XP lead here over to CY, hence the help and the rotation here from Wendy, because one of the things about Monkey, yes, obviously, like I said, he can be tanky, they can be tanky into the game, but in the early game, their clear is not as fast as an Ogre.
Yeah, not as fast, unfortunately, but he just needs to stay alive. Let the rest of your team do that damage.
The one weak spot of obviously the Monkey as well for those at home is kind of just having that consistent damage going on to him. Some high pressure, some high intake of damage is what's going to be able to take out CY onto this pick, but you're really going to be spamming that first skill, right? Making sure that shield is stacked so you can have a great team fight. But speaking of team fight here, Schwan getting picked up here. There's too much CC, and first blood goes over to Twisted Minds.
Yeah, Schwan was just like on a leisurely stroll in the river, and the mean old Twisted Minds found him, caught him out 3-on-1 advantage as well, and Schwan, unfortunately, he's going to give up first blood there.
He was having a leisurely time, right? I mean, they definitely took a bit of a misuse over him there into that river. I mean, definitely a brutal one here, but maybe trying to get the payback here. Shanks looking pretty low, but he is level 4. He has the infinite vastness, and the board being committed here. Is he going to turn the tide here for Twisted Minds? Oh my goodness! The vaulted shot into the backline takes down City Boy.
Yeah, he gets that one soaring signal just right on top. CT Boy thought he was fine. He actually flashed away. He was going to be in a great spot, but that brush just not enough. Just enough vision to get that one final shot. Muchi just gets that snipe.
That's a clean thing about the Chano as well, right? Like, as soon as that shot is literally like programmed onto that hero, it's not giving up. It's going in like a homing missile and gets the pick up there. So they really were like, hey, you could take out Schwan, but we're going to take out City Boy, which within that bot side of the map, we're really looking at sustained capability here for Twisted Minds.
Yeah, if anyone's going to go down, though, you probably want the roamer to go. So it's not the worst thing. Shanks is still there in the bottom lane, continuing to farm. He needs to keep on pace. He needs to step up this game because they really need some damage to help supplement what Clean is bringing.
Clean is bringing, obviously, the terms of the aggression here, trying to maintain that gold lead into somewhat of a margin here between both Nova eSports and Twisted Minds. It's really going to be the key here. So if he gets taken off, it's going to be scary. But Wendy flipping around the gorge here, trying to get the pick up onto Highlang. He commits the board. No one gets catch over then Way Pit. And now the passive has been expanded here by the side of Twisted Minds. Unbridled Outburst is going to be able to catch 2. Can they catch Shanks? He has the infinite vastness.
I mean, CT Boy with a Mulberry power right onto CY, just barely able to just keep enough stuns for Highland.
Oh, 90 here to the backline, trying to completely upset the tempo here of the team fight. Dream Roam used defensively, gets CY out of that one. Really good disengage.
Oh, what a great team fight right there. I mean, everybody was throwing out all their spells, but understanding and just trying to navigate the other one and getting to safety, absolutely huge for CY here.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to be even huge is obviously trying to get the takedown of this Tyrant into the first part of the game of this number 3, right? Like, if they are able to get that extra bit of damage, Not quite as clean as they would normally like it to be, because they have reset that Tyrant that was really kind of anticipating potentially Twisted Minds going for a good team fight.
Yeah, just a great attempt here, but it looks like Hailong has the flash.
As the flash gets out of the board, but now Hailong's a little bit too deep into it. The Morbury power is going to be enough to get him out alive. Obviously, healing from those Fireflies, but also the dodge out of that CC is what was going to be that enough to kind of push away Nova eSports.
Yeah, Muchi was waiting the brush, wanted somebody to kind of just like make their way closer so that he could get the snipe shot, but then Clean showed up, and Muchi was like, no, we got to get out of here. He's the actual nightmare that we need to get away from. We need to stay alive. But CT Boy, his Mulberry powers have actually been quite successful, and he's had some great disruption with that.
I mean, this is the whole point of obviously the Sakira, right? Using that first skill to just kind of completely disrupt the flow of the enemy team. But speaking of nightmares, we saw there that CY built the Blazing Cape, which is now going to be the anti-heal item into those team fights. It's going to stop the sustainability of the Ogryn, stop the healing, and reduce the healing of City Boy.
Yeah, just limit what Clean brings to the table as much as possible. But Twisted Mind's doing a great job. Looks like they're going to secure the first Tyrant here.
Big pick up for the Tyrant, right? I mean, I think this is like, I feel like it's Twisted Mind's first Tyrant of the series. We're able to get the pick up there. So now the extra bit of damage for the next 75 seconds. Nova eSports, are they going to go for obviously pressure into the top side of the map we can see here from Xuan, or are they going to be able to kind of get that micro play ability into these team fights and then mitigate a lot of those damaging skills?
You can see how the play style of Twisted Minds has really changed. They've been way more aggressive. Yeah, taking that first neutral was huge for them.
Oh, okay, yep, the Embroidered Lebus catches on to 3. The Leaping Savior onto City Boy. He gets taken down. 90 tries to come in with a save, pushes away Nova, but they have the foot on the gas. They're pushing past that T1, waiting for that minion wave to come crashing through here.
CT Boy, the only one to have fallen yet again. I mean, yes, there's 2 kills to Nova's name, but they've gone directly for CT Boy. Again, not the worst thing for Twisted Minds. It's just a roam lives, and yes, they do matter, but I mean, it's better him than anyone else. Everyone else was on a sliver of life.
That felt really weird for you to, that felt really hard to hear that, right? I mean, as a Pink Kid, I was like, Hall is a roam main and he's committed that they're not actually matters, but then he brings it back around. It makes sense. I mean, I feel like normality has been brought back into my life here. A little bit of a contention there for the Crimson Golem, but it does go over to the side of Nova eSports.
I mean, they're taking everything, right?
Yeah.
When you have that lead, you want to just continue to put the pressure on, take advantage of the map control that you can provide, like being able to stick it through. And look at how Twisted Minds have to react. They're down about 2K. This is not something that is insurmountable to this team.
Yeah.
But again, they've been losing throughout this entire series. They really need to get something to kind of get this team really started.
I feel like if Twisted Minds can keep this game going, if they can stall and get Shanks online with a Lung, it could be trouble here for the side of Nova eSports. But once again, another fantastic Unbridled Lebus into the backline. Board being committed there is going to be enough to keep out Hailong. He does get that passive stack and off. He is keeping there because of that invincibility, going back to base, trying to formulate some more health before we go for another team fight here, potentially.
Hailong has just barely hung on multiple times already, and he's like playing with fire in that sense. But Nighty,
speaking of playing with fire, Nighty is definitely playing with fire. He was caught into the backline there, tries to push Nova eSports, tries to find that defining angle to get them into that T2 turret to take the damage out from there, but just wasn't quite clean enough. He was stuck in there with them, not the other way around.
Yeah, he was not able to find that right angle, and it was a little aggressive in that sense. I mean, if you go in, you got to just, ensure that you get the push off. You just got to go for it at that point, and he kind of was looking, he was like holding it even longer, the Razor Cavalry at that point, and he paid with his sins.
He paid for his sins indeed. I mean, right now, in terms of the Gorge domination, Twisted Minds actually be able to put a bit of pressure into the top side of the map, but it was thanks to obviously Xuan that was pushing that T1 as well and mitigated that, but it's that detrimental mid lane hauler. It's been taken down once again.
It's been taken down quite a lot. Hailong has always been defensively just like pushed back. Wendy's been very aggressive, and he's, again, why he excels on this hero is providing that damage and that burst. And Twisted Minds have really no answers. They need a little bit more time for Clean to get some of that farm.
Yeah, again, they need to get, obviously, itemization through here. You can kind of see that, regardless, Clean is actually ahead of CY in the jungle, because you can kind of see that that's where it's all funneling into. If it's not going into Shanks, it's going into Clean. Blazing Cape's built. I had the Phoenix built here. So they have the HP regen, they have the anti-heal properties from the Blazing Cape. So really, we're going to be looking at maybe potentially being the Blood Rage being that third item.
Yeah, and look at how Nova eSports are moving across the map. Yeah, they're not really looking to engage, but by threatening certain positions, even with Waypit providing that vision, it's pushing Twisted Minds back. This is opening up space. The top T2 already been taken down. This is perfectly playing in the hands of Nova eSports.
It is, but I want to revisit that point that I was making, right? That if we can get Twisted Minds to stall, they can then get the City Boy Shanks online. But you can kind of see here, he's gone for that very expensive itemization. He's completely skipped the Meteor, completely skipped the Axe of Torment. He's gone for the Siegebreaker. He's gone for the Eternity Blade, and even the Sky Piercer, the second tier item of the Daybreaker. So trying to get that itemization, that damage online early, could be potentially a way in for Twisted Minds.
Yeah, they need whatever they can do. I mean, it might not be the most conventional, but just getting those right items, because they need to fight now, right? They don't really have a whole lot more time. The first Shadow Tyrant was picked up by Nova eSports, and now they're taking the Crimson buff away from you. It's going to be a tough situation for Twisted Minds to hold here.
Yeah, they're just kind of taking all the resources, like you were saying earlier, Holeb. I mean, they have access to it. It'd be silly for them, Nova eSports, to not do that. They have the golden ticket. They need to cash it in and keep getting and putting that pressure onto the side of Twisted Minds. But right now, that T3 in the mid lane needs a little bit of defending here from Twisted Minds.
You got to deal with those minions. You got to figure out some way to just slow it down. You know, it's all about that breathing space at this point. But Nova eSports, look at how they've been pushing. And the Clean, yeah, he's up in front, but he's kind of playing scared.
He's playing very scared. I mean, I would, right? I mean, definitely the damage output, the DPS from the side of Nova eSports is definitely something, even if I was an Ogre, I'd be like, lads, we got to kind of play this one a little bit more micro.
Yeah, more micro indeed. I mean, Clean here, finding CY.
Oh, no, that's not what we wanted. That's not what we wanted. We wanted Shanks to come out on top of that one, but it was Mucci with the soaring shot that got the kill there onto Shanks. Got the T3 into the mid lane. You can kind of see here, Clean just trying to clean up these minion waves once again.
The movement, the positioning, just how upfront they are. It's suffocating for Twisted Minds to find any sort of jump in.
Oh, the jump in, as you called it there, Ola. The Wendy into the backline with the contusants, with the knockups, thanks to that unbridled outburst as well, pushing City Boy and Clean back into the base as the minion waves come through. Game 3, third place is winning it up. Supernova!
Just really well played there. Perfect game, a perfect series. Exactly what you expected from the MKL champions. And going in against Twisted Minds, who is like